Alrighty, welcome everybody. My name is Corbin and I am the undergraduate enrollment advisor for this college, and we'll be introducing you to quickly. But welcome to our Meet Your Major night highlighting the information technology program here at the University of Cincinnati. So very excited to be here to speak with you and share with you information about this program here within the College of Education, Criminal Justice, Human Services, and Information Technology. My name is Corbin. I am the undergraduate enrollment advisor, your host tonight. My information is here on the screen. If you have questions, you want to email me, call me, feel free to do so. We'll be happy to assist, answer any questions that you may have at any point, whether it's tonight or later after the presentation. Feel free to reach out. So I'd like to take a moment to introduce some of our guests tonight. So first of all, we have Rebecca Michael, Assistant Professor and Executive Staff Director for the Ohio Cyber Range Institute. Becca, can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Hello, everyone.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. And then we do have a couple students here. I'm going to let students, you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick and what year you are in the program.
Hi, my name is Rishabh, and I'm a freshman in IT with a specialization in software development.
All right, thanks for being here, Rishabh. Anchi, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
And my concentration is networking.
You said networking? Okay, cool. Thanks for being here. All right, so let's get into a few things here. First of all, congratulations for those of you that are here tonight. You applied to UC, you've been admitted to the information technology program. So congratulations, welcome to UC, welcome to the Bearcat family. We're so excited that you're here and that you're considering UC as a place to call home. I know that there's a lot of things going on right now that is, not the way we expected them to be this time of the year. And so if you have questions or concerns about anything, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to address those, but wanted to provide an opportunity to really give you an opportunity to hopefully see this program, gain a perspective of what it would be like if you were in this program in the future. And so, getting to hear from some of the individuals here, the students and the faculty, gaining some insight into some things. Hopefully it will be an informative time for you as you are looking to make some decisions down the road. Just an overview of what this evening is going to look like. We're going to do a program overview of the IT program, introducing you, talking to you about the program, what the opportunities are for students, how things are structured, and some of the courses that you might be taking when you're in this program. And then going into life of a student here at UC and in the college. And then obviously some time for questions. And so if you have any questions, feel free to post those in the chat box. I will be sure to field those questions for our panelists tonight and address them as we go throughout the presentation. So program overview for the information technology program. And what I'm going to do is, there's several things that we can talk about, and I'm going to start off with letting Becca kind of share a little bit about how students are developing their program, because you do have those unique tracks or program options where you can really specialize your degree in a certain area within IT, and even down to the accelerated pathway where students could come out with a master's degree. So Becca, you want to talk a little bit about the purpose of those tracks within the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am not only faculty in the School of Information Technology, but I'm also a graduate of information technology a long time ago, and worked in the field for about 16 years. And in IT, you change careers very quickly. So, I've had a lot of students ask me about which primary track they should focus on. And in the field, in my experience, and with a lot of other students, I found that these tracks are relevant to most industries that you can think of. And you are able to switch between the two. So for example, if you have a primary track in software application development and a secondary track in cybersecurity, then you are well equipped to create applications that have security in mind, which is huge in our current state, but also after a few years working as a primary software developer, you can easily move into primary cybersecurity roles, such as a cybersecurity awareness educator or a security analyst in financial sectors or within government. So really, these tracks are supposed to really go deep into a particular area of IT, but know that you get a very well-rounded education in all of these areas. So don't overthink that. And then, you know, with our co-op program, we get between 98 and 100% placement in our co-op program, regardless of track. So know that we have jobs and our students are getting jobs in all of these areas. So again, kind of don't overthink that. Go into something that you like, something that makes sense to you, but you can kind of always switch into a different role once you're into an IT career. Do you also want me to talk about the accelerated pathway at this time, Corbin?
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to do so if you want to.
Fantastic. Yeah. So this is the only program in the world that we're aware of that offers an Abet accredited IT undergraduate degree and a master's degree in either business administration, IT, instructional design and technology, health informatics, or criminal justice, and provides approximately 2 years of real-world paid work experience. So when you graduate, you will have both a bachelor's, a master's, and 2 years experience in the same amount of time that most people just get their bachelor's. This is huge. When you're talking about competing against the top people in the world at the coveted careers at high-profile companies like Tesla, like Google, and Apple, you are going to stand apart from the rest because this is unheard of in education, in higher education at this time. So once you come into the program, you have to complete at least one semester in your bachelor's in IT, and then you can apply to the accredited accelerated program, and then you get to choose your master's. So don't feel like you have to choose it right now, but make sure that you think about this because this will definitely set you apart from the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely explained that better than I would have. Briefly also, before we go on to the next slide and talk more about the program, maybe explain a little bit about the importance of the Abet accreditation.
Yeah, absolutely. There are national and global accreditation boards that will set the standard for different programs in different industries. Abet is the global accreditation board for all IT programs, and it's the recognized national accreditation program for all IT programs. So when you're in an Abet accredited degree and you graduate from one and it's on your resume, all employers understand that you took a supported curriculum through this accreditation board, which is the only recognized IT program accreditation board. It's critical to understand that because as we move through different degree programs and as IT changes very quickly, you want to make sure that you're holding to a certain standard and you want to make sure that you have graduated in that standard. So it just gives you that other level of, figuring out that you know what the accreditation board wants you to know, which aligns with the IT skills that are required in today's workforce.
All right, thank you. So a few more highlights we want to bring up about the program. So first of all, cybersecurity, obviously one of the tracks within the program, and a big part of the program is the opportunities to go into various cyber careers. You know, we are designated as a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense Education by both the National Security Agency and the Department of Homeland Security. And of course, you know, Becca, with you in the Ohio Cyber Range, I wanted to let you talk a little bit about what that is, what we're doing here within cybersecurity.
Fantastic. Yeah, if you want to be in cybersecurity, University of Cincinnati is the place you want to be. We have 2 centers of academic excellence, both in cyber defense education and cyber operations. And there are only 12 universities in the United States that have both of those designations. And they regularly monitor our curriculum to make sure that it's matching up to their standards. So you know that you have a high quality industry standard education in cybersecurity. Also, we were picked by the state of Ohio to hold the cyber range for the entire state. And so this includes education for K-12, other universities and college, adult education, cybersecurity awareness for the everyday Ohioan. And we are currently working with the Ohio National Guard in the cyber reserves and for training for the Ohio National Guard. So we are regarded as the most competent cybersecurity education institution in the state of Ohio. We're also developing a range that will be unmatched in the United States. So we're taking on more in our range than any other state cyber range. So being a part of this cyber range institution will allow you to potentially co-op, work with us on research, and be able to kind of put that on your resume that you went to that institution that was hosting that cyber range for the state.
Awesome, thank you. I do want to mention the IT Expo. Of course, you know, this is something that students take part in their senior year. They kind of come together, I guess, in a group environment, and even the students, if y'all want to talk about this, I think, Anchi, if you've gotten to this point yet, I'm not sure or not, but students get to come together and they provide some sort of a solution, probably to a problem, work on a project, and they present this project at our annual IT Expo. That now is it the date is still April 14th? Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So typically it would be on campus, but with everything going on, it's still happening, but it will be virtual. So if it's something that you want to check out and attend, there will be a virtual IT Expo that people can be involved with. But talk, Becca, as well, you know, anyone want to talk a little bit about the Expo and what happens on that day?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. And then hopefully others can contribute. The IT Expo allows both IT professionals, industry partners, our researchers who are really leading that field, and all of our undergraduate, graduate students, and the K-12 students who are interested in pursuing IT to really come together to show off projects, to talk about any problems that they're currently experiencing and looking for solutions through those projects with the students and through that research with the students. This year, of course, it's unprecedented with COVID-19, so we have moved to an online platform. Being in information technology, we're always looking for those solutions for issues that occur. And so this is a solution that we created so that our students can still present their projects, so that people can still view them and view their presentations. They can be judged. We can communicate about the projects in real time and be able to see our keynote presentations and award presentations from leaders in the industry.
Gotcha. And Anshi, I know you're involved with the expo. Do you want to talk a little bit about what goes on that day, or if you're doing anything with that?
Yeah, sure. I have volunteered for the IT Expo in my freshman year, and I was gonna volunteer this year too, but like because of the thing happening right now, they have all so it was like the IT.
I think you got muted there. Let me see here.
Okay, so yeah, the IT Expo is something really big, and I had volunteered my freshman year, and I was gonna do it this year too. And I came to meet the seniors. They done like various projects, but as I was volunteering, I did not get to see like all the projects, but some of them were like really cool, and like I got to know how should I be prepared for my senior design project. It was really fun attending the IT Expo, and this year it's gonna be more fun because I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're still doing the whole IT Expo, and also I am volunteering still, so it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so senior year, students do their senior design project. I did list a few of some of the projects that have happened in the past with some of the things like, you know, developing a mobile application with a voice-controlled user interface to improve the awareness for the blind. That was an app that was designed to help someone who would be blind to identify objects in their environment, to things like a secure web-based application to connect students who need to sublet a space. That was someone saw a need and designed an app to provide an opportunity for students to get connected who were, you know, who may be on co-op one semester and then back on campus the next, and wanted to be able to sublet their apartments if needed. And so oftentimes students will, you know, see some sort of see something they want to provide a solution to, or an organization may sponsor students to ask them to come up with a solution to a problem. So various things that may happen, but students working in their senior year to do some sort of a project that's going to be focused on providing a solution. So Becca already mentioned a little bit about how this is a co-op program, and a co-op is something that did start with the University of Cincinnati back in 1906. So it's been around for a long time. You know, UC is ranked third as far as best schools, top 3 schools for co-op and internships. And so a lot of that happening within the IT program. And just co-op itself is just a huge opportunity for students to get into the job market while they're in college. Students will do 5 semesters of full-time paid work experiences. And you can just see last spring, the average pay for a student was about $15 an hour. The most was someone was making $28 an hour. So, you know, it can range as far as the opportunities there, even to where students are working. You can see our map showing you where students are just around the country, working with various organizations. Some of them, a few of them just listed there on the screen to give you some examples. Before I let the students speak, Becca, was there anything that you wanted to add to this?
So what I can add is I was a co-op. I hired co-ops and managed them. And then I came back to UC as a faculty member, and I started training co-ops. I think it's the most critical part of the program, because you start to work as early as the summer of your freshman year. And so you get to understand if you're going to like this field way before anybody else gets to decide that. which is huge, but also you get to make an impact on an industry, whether that's nonprofit or commercial industry, and you get to have 5 different experiences that are the easiest jobs you'll ever get because you have the support of the co-op office. They help you with your resume, with interview skills. They connect you with employers who know us, who know our students. And every time I've met with a company in my capacity as a faculty member, they always say that UC students are the best hires that they've ever had in a co-op position, that they're more prepared than other universities. Even universities that are, or even companies that are connected to universities have said that to me. And it really is attributed to our fantastic co-op program. So I hope that you don't have any kind of anxiety about having to get a professional job so early in your career, because our students are prepared, they're ready to go, and they make a huge contribution to the company that they're working at.
Great. Now, students, do you guys want to talk a little bit about, maybe some of you may not have had the opportunity to start a co-op experience yet, but if you have had that, or maybe even where you're hoping to go to in the future, want to talk a little bit about the co-op aspect of the program?
Yeah, you can go first, Ashi.
So this is my third semester, so technically I was supposed to do my co-op this semester, but somehow I did not get a co-op. But the process is like, it's so helpful. I have my co-op advisor who like gives me a list of companies and like where I want to work, like in what field I want to work, but I rather don't see what a field I want to work. I would just like apply for all the companies, and depends on the interview calls. So this a few days ago, before all of this happened, I got an interview call from CBTS, which I really, really wanted to go work with them. So I met them through the career fair, and I met them like 3 times. Like first time I met them in the IT Expo in 2019, then during the spring career fair, then the fall career fair. So like it's a whole process to make connections with everybody. Like it's really a good experience when you are like working like as a student. You get so much knowledge, like how do you work with the companies, and like when you're done after 5 years of this coursework, like you will be all ready for big higher posts. So yeah, it's a good experience.
I was very lucky with myself because I scored my first co-op in my first semester at this university. So it was my co-op is supposed to be in the summer of this year, but I've come back to India because of the coronavirus, and I'm not sure if it's gonna take place now. But my co-op is at the university itself. It's at the IT Solution Center of the university. I found this co-op so everyone at the university was sent an email if they want to do an internship at the IT Solution Center. And basically I did that, and if you did a good job, they offered you a co-op. So that's how I got my first co-op, and it wasn't very hard. It was a good experience. I've also worked there part-time for the last 2 or 3 months, and it's been a great time.
Gotcha. Thank you. One question was, do you work with the same company for each job placement? Was one question that came in. And so, and I don't know, Becca, do you feel comfortable answering that question?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do 5 different companies for the 5 different co-ops if you'd like. A lot of employers want to have you for at least 2 semesters because it takes so long to train somebody in a position. that once they've invested in you for an entire semester and you're kind of finally up and running, they want to make sure that you'll come back. And so that's an agreement between the student and the employer to figure out if you want to do those two co-ops. Because remember that when you're getting any kind of job, including a co-op, that you're kind of testing out the company as well as they are testing you out in that position. So if you like the company, if you want to do two either back-to-back or separated co-ops, you can do that. There's a lot of flexibility built into our degree to make it the best experience for the student. Sometimes students will stay with an entire company for 5 co-ops, and they oftentimes will have that full-time position already arranged before they graduate. Some people, and what we encourage people to do is, you know, it's justified for you to jump around to different companies while you're co-oping. So maybe do 2 co-ops in a large company like a Procter & Gamble. Maybe do 2 co-ops at a small company to get that experience, a startup type of company. And we have a lot in Cincinnati through Centrifuge. And then maybe your final co-op should be with the company that you want to get that full-time offer with. So a lot of options, a lot of flexibility, and your co-op advisors are there for you. You meet with them before you do a co-op, you meet with them after a co-op, and you evaluate what you liked about your job and what you didn't like about your job, so that they can help you find the best placement. And when you graduate, you find the best full-time position.
Great. And so I do like to address the fact that we have students working across the country, which is a pretty cool thing. And we even have students working internationally. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of international co-ops. Some of them are provided by the co-op office, but some of them are also found by students. So for example, if you know, some of the students who have had to go back to their home country, which is not the US, they can find a co-op position themselves and then connect with the co-op office so that they can still count that as their semester of co-op.
Very cool. All right, so I kind of want to go into the curriculum aspect of this program, specifically the first year courses for students. And so I bring this up for a few things to, first of all, let Becca and the students talk a little bit about their experiences within the courses that they've taken from first year till today, but also just bringing to light the fact that you are going to start taking IT courses your very first semester in your first year, really integrated throughout the program, just is preparing you to figure out if this is for you right off the bat. And so, you get right into it when you first start here. And so, Becca, are there any courses here that you can kind of speak into specifically?
Yeah, exactly what you said is great. You get right into hands-on IT work in our classes. These are not theory-based. When we're talking about computer networking, we're not doing the traditional kind of lecture. You sit in a chair and take notes and then take tests. We're talking about you creating cables, using Wireshark to look at network traffic. You're going to use the tools that are used in industry, and you're going to understand how they apply to the IT field in general. Computer programming 1, we've used different programming languages. Really the instruction is programming language agnostic, and then we use a programming language as the example. But you're learning the programming and logic component is the most critical because languages change, right? Currently, we're using Java. We can use Python, C#, C++. Any of those languages will apply once you understand that programming and logic piece. It's also important to note that we're getting into solving problems immediately with technology. So we don't just look at, for example, database management to learn about databases and learn SQL. We look at why do we want to understand this technology and why do we want to understand SQL. It's in order to solve this problem with data sets and using real world scenarios to try to then implement into your projects that you're doing both individually and as teams of students.
Great, thank you. Now, Anchi and Rashad, if you guys want to talk a little bit about, what were some of the courses like that you took and how did they really prepare you for this industry? You guys there?
Okay, so I had taken in my first semester, I took the basic classes like fundamentals of IT, computer networking, computer programming, and statistics and something like that. But these classes were like, I had taken classes like, they helped me to decide. I mean, I was like very firm, like I wanted to do networking because I'm not a programming person. But as I did programming, I learned like it's not that hard to do programming, but like networking is something that I liked. So, and I thought it would be typically like, learning up stuff and writing down the exams and everything like that. But it was not like that. We had like assignments every week, and it was like you have to do it everything like in, I don't know how to say that, but like it's really not just like high school or something like that, but it's like completely different. So yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how to explain it, but it was like totally different. Like it's not like high school, it's like just a different thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I took most of the classes listed here, and I'd say they were really really interesting classes. We did a lot of stuff in the classes, and especially the professors are really friendly with you. And then there's a lot of activities that go on in class, a lot of group activities, stuff like that, which like get you focused and really help build your interest into these things.
Gotcha. Yeah. So obviously this is kind of what you would take if you were to come into this program without any prior credit. I do address kind of one of the questions that came up. We do have a lot of students that come into this program with AP credit or college credit plus credit, things like that. And so if you do come into this program with some of those college credits already completed, obviously this will change some of those things, but there are still some courses that you still take, like the PD 1010 course, which is a requirement for students to take prior to co-op. Does anyone want to talk a little bit about the importance of that course?
That course, it's a 1 credit course which every student has to take before doing his co-op. So basically what we do in that course is we learn how to talk to employers, we learn how to make a good resume, and what are the methods we can use to get a good co-op and things like that. It basically helps you get a co-op and teaches you how to look for a co-op and things like that.
Great. Thank you. So yeah, and then you'll start taking your first track course that spring semester. So even for students that may not know what track they want to do, you do have that first semester to kind of get some things figured out at least. But for students, did y'all kind of come in knowing what track you wanted to do, or is that something you figured out as you went in?
When I first came to the program, I had not decided that what particular track I would take. So for my first semester, I met my advisor, and I didn't have a track. But as my first semester came to an end, I realized I I want to do software development. So she made my schedule according and gave me those courses for my uh, later semesters.
For me, I was like a little bit confused between networking and cybersecurity. So it's like it was good that like I can switch classes if I still want instead, like if I'm a sophomore right now and if I want to change my track to cybersecurity, I can do it because like they have similar classes. So like in the first year you can change your classes if you want. And also in the PD 1010 class, it was really helpful to me because I had no idea, because I'm an international student, or how to make my resume. Like it's a totally professional class. It teaches you how to, you know, talk to companies, like be professional, because IT is a very professional field, I would say. So yeah, that's all.
Gotcha. Anything else that you guys want to add about the courses in the program?
I would say that the courses are really good because the professors are really, really, really good. They are always there for your help, and like we study as if like we all are students, and like we don't have to, like, the professor is just saying and we just have to listen. It's like professor is studying with us.
I'd like to add that these courses are actually not hard at all. These are pretty easy courses. And so while you take these courses, there's a lot of time to do other activities in the university because there's not a lot of things to do while you take that course. You don't have to study this that much, but those are really interesting courses. I like the interpersonal communication was my favorite course. I don't even know why, but it's it's a really fun course.
Cool. Thank you. So I want to address a couple of things. First of all, for Jacob, I will say I would be happy to set you up with kind of getting a pre-advising session with the IT academic advisor. Some of those questions when it comes to, I have a lot of AP credits or College Credit Plus courses, and you want to kind of get strategic with, what's my schedule going to look like? It might look different compared to someone coming in with less hours. And so email me and I'll set you up with an appointment with an IT academic advisor to talk a little bit more in depth about scheduling options and what that will look like with someone with, over 15 credit hours. So email me and we'll talk. As far as when you create schedules, for first year students coming in the fall, you create your schedules at orientation. And so, that's where you meet with your academic advisor. Obviously, things are kind of up in the air right now as far as orientation goes. If we will still provide opportunities for that, whether that's online or in person, whatever that's going to look like. But it will happen in the summertime as far as when you get your schedule and meet with your academic advisor. And so, again, if anyone has any questions or concerns, email me. We can set up some one-on-one times to talk a little bit more in depth about what that might look like and get you connected with the academic advisor. Kind of transitioning a little bit into life as a student here at UC and in the college. So speaking of academic advisors, we have a great academic advising team. In fact, one of the top rated advising center on campus is our academic advisors. And so, they play an essential role with assisting our students within the program. We have dedicated IT academic advisors to assist you through various ways. And so students, you guys want to talk a little bit about the role the academic advisor plays for you guys in the program?
Yeah, sure. My academic advisor, her name is Shay, and she is my first mom in the school because she knows all my academic stuff, and I love her so much. She, like, if I am stressed, I always go and talk to her. Like, I don't like taking online classes, so I will always go and tell her, please make sure that I don't get online classes. I mean, I can share anything with her, and like she is like always puts my schedule like in a good for. So like I don't have to, I don't get stressed, and also I don't have to taking care of my tuition. So like it's not about like she's like just with me always whenever I want her for my scheduling and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same advisor as Ashi, and advisors are really helpful when you need to make a curriculum as per your needs. So, for example, if I won't be able to do my co-op because of the coronavirus, I reached out to her a few days ago, and she sent me a new curriculum plan with classes in the summer and how everything else would go on later on. So that's really helpful.
Great, thank you. So campus life. When we are on campus, obviously there's a lot of things going on. And so because we can't do all of this in person right now, we still wanted to provide an opportunity for you guys to share some perspective and what is it like for a student to be on our campus? If you were in the dorms, what were the dorms like? Did you spend time in the dining halls? Did you like the food? What kinds of things did you take advantage of being on the UC's campus?
So there's a lot of things to do on campus. So as a freshman, I was living in a dorm, UPA, which is located on Calhoun Street. So when you live on campus, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Like when we first came to campus, there was a welcome week, which comprised of events every day. Like there was a concert on campus, and there's like different events going on in different parts of the campus. And on any regular day after classes, you'd have club meetings, and you'd go to the rec center, which has a swimming pool, basketball courts. It has a gym where I go regularly every day after classes, and there's a lot of things you can do in the rec center itself. And other than that, so there's a lot of restaurants surrounding the campus itself, so you can go there if you like to have outside food. But there's also dining halls where there's pretty good food. Like you get burgers, pizzas, chicken wings. Like there's different food at different days, and there's just I mean, honestly, I think Market Point is my favorite uh, dining hall, and it's really good. And the dining halls are usually open in the night, like till 9 o'clock, and this one dining hall is open till 12 a.m. So you can go anytime and eat there, which is awesome. And I don't play a lot of sports, but there's always people playing football and stuff like that on the fields in the university, so you can join them. They're really friendly. Yeah.
So I lived in Sidal Hall. It was like the traditional style dorm, and it was very fun, and because there's a great community, and like you would like really get to know the real college life, get to live it, and you would make so many friends because like your dorm, like your room door would be open, and like people would just scoot in and just play like during your free time, and weekends would be like so much fun. Also, during the orientation week, we could get involved in student organizations. There are so many student organizations that you could join in. Also, you could create your own student organization. You could, for IT, women in IT is something I like being in. I'm a member of it, and they host different events every time. Right now, they're having the Adobe XD event, and that's pretty awesome. So I like it. And also talking about the dining halls, I would say first few months would be fun had to go to the dining halls because you are like new to everything. But after the second, like during the second semester, you'd be totally tired of the dining halls. Also, the Calhoun Street is pretty amazing. You can have like, there's so much. We have Starbucks, we have Buffalo Wild Wings, then we have
Games.
yeah, Canes. Canes is like the place where you can go like at 2 a.m. on weekends. So like it's pretty amazing. Also, I don't really go to the rec center, but well, this semester I went with my friends to play basketball and I don't even know how to play it. But this time, and also there are like tennis courts. And I went to play tennis. I mean, I go to play tennis a lot because I used to play tennis. And the soccer fields are like always open. We go and play frisbee or sometimes just running around. Yeah, it's pretty much fun living on campus.
Yeah. And so as far as getting around campus,
Yeah, like you get to know like all the short routes to walk to your classes. It's like pretty amazing. Yeah.
very cool. And now, actually, you kind of mentioned a little bit about some of the organizations. You mentioned women in IT and things like that. UC has a ton of organizations that students can get involved with. We highly encourage you to check them out, see what things you might be interested in doing and getting involved with. Is there anything that you guys want to add as far as other groups or organizations that you've been able to get involved with here at UC?
Well, right now I'm a UCCECH ambassador. It's also an organization, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry?
I said, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so like women in IT is like something if you're really interested in technology. Also, I've heard of something called robotics or something like that. It's also a pretty amazing club. And yeah, there are more, but I have not joined them.
I'm part of a few organizations, such as the Road Track Club. It's a club which does a lot of community service things. Also, there's a lot of frats and sororities on campus, so you can also be a part of that. It's really fun. And there's a lot of clubs. I would say like there's a club for making airplanes. There's a club for making robots. There's a club for dancing, and there's a club for Indian dancing in itself. So most of the things have a club in itself. You can find your group of people and be with them.
All right. So experiential learning, this obviously is a huge aspect of the program, hands-on experience from day one. When it comes to this, obviously there's the co-op piece, but what other aspects would you guys want to add on to this? How hands-on are even the classes? What other things have you been able to take advantage of?
So I would say a lot of my classes are really hands-on. One of the most hands-on classes was networking back in my first semester, where we actually made a cable we made a twisted wire cable, and we made a wireframe network. And there's a lot of things that I learned in that class. Also in programming, a lot of assignments you have to do. It makes you learn new things by yourself. It's not like that you're just learning it in class and like writing it down in an exam. You have to apply it by yourself to do the assignments that you get. And like there's a lot of things that I learned in the last semesters that helped me also in my part-time job as like a software developer, and it was really useful.
So right now, my classes, I am taking, I have 5 classes, out of which 4 of my classes, they have like all of them have like final projects. I don't have to give any test, but like these projects are so amazing that you can put them on your resume. So like it would look so good on your resume. So like the classes are amazing. They are totally hands-on, and like your labs and everything, it's pretty amazing.
All right. Definitely want to have some time for answering additional questions. So if anyone does have questions, feel free to post those in the chat box. We'll be happy to address any additional questions you may have, or always, feel free to email me and we'll talk later and kind of address some other additional questions that might be need to be handled more in depth. But until then, as we're giving you a moment here, if you want to post something, feel free to do so. Wanted to provide more opportunities. So, Becca, students, is there anything else that you guys want to add that maybe we didn't get a chance to talk about with the IT program?
I would just add that I think this is the smartest decision you've made to study IT. I made this decision a very, very long time ago. I've had an incredible career and feel lucky every day. And currently in this crisis, IT professionals can really help in all areas. And so it's not just about the high salaries. It's not just about having flexibility of work. It's also about having an impact on the world, either in a crisis or not in a crisis. So you feel good about the work that you're doing.
Great, thank you. One question that came in for the students is, how do you all balance your schoolwork and being involved on campus?
So it's like pretty much you have to make your schedule prior to the day. So like if you have a organization meeting the next day, you should like have all planned. I mean, the organizations would never keep a meeting or something like that during the class time, or it would be sometime in the evening when you don't have classes. And also it's just you write down everything, like how you want your day to go. So yeah, that's how I do my schedule.
So during my classes, you usually have like 1 or 2 hour breaks depending on your schedule. So what I like to do is I usually go to the library during my classes, like in between my classes, basically when I have a 2 or 3 hour long break. I just go to the library and sit. And you can also go to the library anytime. It's open 24/7. So I like to study by myself at night, and that's how I usually finish my work.
I often like to ask this question for students. When you were looking to attend a college, what about UC made you decide to attend here?
So my primary reason for coming to UC was definitely the co-ops. It's a big advantage over all other universities and college. You get experience as soon as you graduate, and you can come out with experience. And whenever employers ask you, you have a big edge. Basically, my second reason for choosing IT at UC was because unlike other programs, you don't have to do a lot of math. I hated calculus, and I would do anything to get rid of it. And I was very happy in the IT program here, as I didn't have to do any of that complex math here.
So everyone wants like the top ranking. So the School of IT has like, it is the top 10 school program it has. So that was the first reason I chose it. And the second reason was the experiential learning. It is pretty amazing. It is something that I was like, I am not a person who could like study all the time. I want to like do something new every time. So that was the other reason. So yeah. And also University of Cincinnati, it's like something big, and like I'm an international student, so I had like various opportunities to go, but like the IT program was something that I was looking for, and it was offered to me by University of Cincinnati. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So I do want to put our social media up here for anyone that wants to follow any additional channels. And then if you need to get a hold of me, I do have my phone and email on the screen there. So feel free to email me with any questions as well. A couple of questions that have come in here. One, is there a requirement to have a computer/laptop?
Hi, it's Becca. We don't have a specific requirement if you are studying on campus. We have a number of labs and our courses that require you to use a computer have a lab. So you aren't required to have your own device. However, you want to make sure that you're practicing outside of class. And so I would recommend, if possible, for you to get your own device, your own laptop, so that you can move it to different locations very easily. I also, there's no requirements for that laptop. You could even get a Chromebook. You can have access to a virtual machine through UC and access to the Ohio Cyber Range through UC, so that you can access all the resources in that VM and you don't actually have to pay for that or manage that yourself. Those are my recommendations now. And you know, we've kind of seen this in this current crisis where students who were taking on campus and utilizing public labs are now being offered temporary laptops to finish out the semester. So it is absolutely not a requirement of the program. You know, make sure that if you are financially constrained, that we can offer you the technology to help you with your studies.
That's great to hear. Actually, I didn't know that. And this program is actually offered also online. So as far as, you know, adapting to the changing environment, this program was obviously prepared for offering online programming, because it's offered 100% online and 100% on campus for students. Here's a question. For those that want to bring a Mac, or a Microsoft versus a Mac, do you recommend one versus the other?
Either one. There are some courses that use Windows applications that cannot be installed on a Mac. In that case, of course, as I said before, you can access a virtual machine, which will have Windows for you, and you only need a browser in order to access that virtual machine. So that provides the solution. You can also kind of dual boot your Mac OS into Windows. All Windows machines are fine. We don't teach any courses that require an Apple iOS.
And while we're on here for this program, I do want to address, you know, I know there's going to be some students that might be here that want to kind of maybe have a better understanding of the differences of really what IT is when you're comparing it to maybe a computer science or engineering program here, especially here at UC. I don't know, Becca or the students, do you guys want to talk a little bit about, you know, IT versus computer science or engineering?
Real quick, I'll go with the school head's kind of way of explaining this, which is if you have a computing device, which is a phone, a smartphone, you can look at these different disciplines within that phone itself. So if the phone is off and you see it as a physical device, that's computer engineering. You're working with hardware directly. You're doing a lot of math, a lot of theory. If you turn on the phone, but you don't actually use an application, you're using the operating system on the phone. So that Android, that iOS operating system, that is computer science. You're developing applications for the hardware. So you're really close to the hardware level. That includes some math, that includes some theory, and that includes some programming and networking and cybersecurity. If you then launch an application like Snapchat, then you're into the IT sphere, which is combining technology with users. So we are solving problems for users. We're at that level where we have to understand, what does a user want to do? What are the problems that that user has currently, and how do we solve those problems with existing technology, with creating new technology? But we usually sit on top of existing technology.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. And if anyone wants to see the full curriculum list of the entire program, including the different track courses that you might be interested in, send me an email. I can send you the link over to that as well if anyone's interested in seeing the full curriculum map for the IT program. Well, unless any of the last minute questions pop up, we're kind of wrapping up the presentation here. And so I do want to say thank you to everybody out there that attended, that listened to this presentation. Hopefully you did find this informative and helpful as you're just kind of figuring out, obviously, your next step and figuring out a best fit program for you. And hopefully through this, our goal and my goal is to kind of give you a little bit of the taste into this program and this college. We're here for students first and foremost, for their success. We want to do what we can to making sure that if this is where you want to be, we want to help you with giving you the information that you need to have in order to make the next best decision for yourself to ensure your success. And so know that you're coming into an atmosphere with a lot of support and a lot of people that really do want to see you succeed and also challenge you to prepare you for wherever it is that you want to go, or whatever it is that you want to do. You're going to have a lot of people here walking with you throughout the entire program, through your journey here at the university. So we're excited that you are considering us, and hopefully you will, if you see is where you think you want to go, we want to help you with that. So feel free to contact me if you have questions with any information that you need to get on next steps and stuff like that. But Becca, thank you for being here, and students, thank you all so much for your time and sharing some information for everybody.
Thank you so much, Corbin. Thank you, everyone who attended.
Great. All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and everyone stay safe and stay healthy.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too.